Welcome to week 3, session A. We're a little bit over halfway right now, almost 6 miles in on a 10-mile run. There's no prescribed pace. It is just accumulated miles. I started this run about 5:30 in the morning. Be finishing up hopefully a little bit before 7. With a couple of breaks in between. I will definitely say yesterday's squat session is affecting my leg drive and power. I did a 4x3 at 315 pounds with some pull-ups mixed in between. And I don't think the pull-ups have too much effect right now, but those 12 heavier squats than what I'm used to definitely don't feel that same oomph and kick on my run right now. Currently holding like a 750, 755, but it took me, again, 5 miles to warm up, where I was holding an 805 and 810. On another note, when you're behind on fueling and nutrition, like I was on Monday, it's so hard to catch up. The squats felt good, but I definitely knew I spent a lot of energy. Didn't replenish probably as much as I should have last night. Definitely feeling it now. Trying to wake up at, 4:45 a.m. and cram as many carbs into your body and running in 45 minutes. Not the best idea. Had some insane indigestion and cramps and pain. And now, after about 50 minutes of running, it has finally subsided and I can pick up the pace again. I'm gonna head back home, refuel, and then knock out about the last 3 miles. And the thing too, that I think some people may misunderstand about a marathon prep, or maybe the thing that people take for granted in a marathon prep, are the 4 hardest weeks of training leading up to your peak week, where you max out mileage, volume, and intensity, like we are about 2 weeks from now. Is every session is a no-joke session, meaning you're not getting a casual 3. You're not getting a nice tempo 5-miler. No, like you're putting in, for a minimum, a 10-mile day on the track. You're doing 6, 7, pretty much all out miles with rest if you're doing tempo. And then your long run is extremely long. And so when you consider everything, you have to be on your game. You have to have your meals prepped, your water bottles laid out, shaker cups, nutrition, your clothing, your shoes, stretching, mobility, everything, strength training. The timing of everything becomes more critical, because if one thing falls out of sync, it can really screw up your day. And not saying that this session is screwed up, but I'll probably have to deduct 1 quality point, because I guarantee if I would have knocked this out yesterday morning instead of sleeping in, I 100% would have a better output coming off of Sunday rest day and not coming off of squats on Monday. So something to consider in your training block, not only for marathon, but anything else that you do athletically. As the build increases, as the body breaks down, you're gonna tell yourself, I can't, and you're gonna feel like your body just cannot persevere. And that's where you have to be careful, because it's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of growth happening, but if you do not prepare properly, the chance for injury and catastrophic failure is always present. I don't know the exact science behind this, but another note on nutrition. So when I started my run, I slammed 3 scoops of carbs, which is about 70-ish, 75 grams, and I felt horrible, indigestion, burping, feeling like I was gonna cough it and spit it up. Well, after about an hour, I feel like not only is my body warmed up, and I'm just clicking sub 8 miles at 745, 750 pace, but my digestive system seems to be more acclimated and warmed up, as I just took down half a banana and 1.5 scoops of carbs, and 0 effect. If anything, I feel great. I would say when I started the run, I was like a 4 out of 10. Felt sick almost. Now, my body's clicking. No indigestion, no burping, no gas. We're just cruising. So, I don't know what that is worth, but it definitely shows that it was needed and necessary for a good run. 10-mile run wrapped up. Miscalculated a little bit. Did about an extra half mile. So 10.5 miles at a 7:58 pace. Did forget to stop my watch when I went to pee. That's okay. But miles were logged. Felt really strong at the end. Session A is over. Welcome to the C session. A couple things before we get started. So I got everything ready to rock and roll. I am at work. I'm in an off location, normal running site. Just different change of scenery. I'm gonna knock out 20 miles. I just need something different, some different roads, some different ways, just different paths. So in order to keep all my personal items safe, car key will go into my work building. I'll take my work keys with me so I can keep the car safe, keep my work locked up, but still have access to everything I need. And then my cooler here with all of my fuel, which includes a banana, some carbs, and then before we get started, a couple more housekeeping items. I'm gonna get my nose strip on here. This is just nothing special. This is just a basic, clear, breathe right strip. 3-liner. I think they make like 2s. I get the 3s because I have a big nose. And then before we get started, again, car key is gonna go into the main building, Vaseline up, put some Vaseline in a bag in case some extra chafing happens, big legs, big balls, big sack. And yeah, we're gonna go run 20 miles. It is 6:48, hoping to finish up here in 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is a sub 8 for 20 miles. So that's the game plan. Let's get to it. So 2 nice little dollops that'll be used for emergencies. In the event I found where I use the restroom, sometimes the Vaseline will rub off, and then sometimes just from running for 2.5+ hours, it's not always frictionless. Should dump that right in there. So we are just about 3 miles in from the 20-mile run, and it's the weather, the atmosphere. Look at that. It is beautiful. And it reminds me of a time about 10 years ago when I was driving to a soccer tournament, lacrosse, basketball, where the smell, the feelings, the early mornings, the drive in the car, very nostalgic, but it just brings me back to a place of just being very humble and grateful that those times happened, and looking forward to doing the same for my own children. And it has just kind of anchored and settled me in within the first half hour of this run. And I think it's gonna be a very, very good session C. Carbs with caffeine. So we did about 3.25 miles. One thing I want to get is, as I'm waking up early, I didn't have enough time to fuel, so I'm trying to play catch up and do shorter intervals instead of 4 miles or every 5 miles. Right now I'm doing every 3.5, 3.25. For at least this first one, I feel pretty refueled, so we'll probably go 4 on the next break. 4.25 mile effort. Found a really, good rhythm. Carbs with low caffeine. We're about an hour into the run. Refuel handheld. Back to it. So I did a 3.25 on the first interval, 4.5 on the second, and we were probably gonna roll with another, I think 3.5. So just to offset and make sure I'm hydrating. Clearly I will not be taking as long as breaks. Let's just make sure my fuel is topped off. Feeling good, feeling real good, and strong. So we are a little bit halfway, or just under halfway, at 9.25 miles. And this is the part of the run where things get a little mental. I really am trying to push the pace, see what my body's capable of without burning to a crisp. And for the next 10.5 miles, we're just gonna try to hold and see how long my body can sustain the pace that I'm running at. Good 3-mile block, good pace, felt really strong. Definitely the call to come back and refuel. Not that I was tapering off, but definitely felt like the 3 miles was the move. Now we're gonna see if we can hold a little bit of 4. Another solid effort. It's about 4 1/4, almost 4 1/2. So we are down to the last, I'm at 14 1/2 right now. Knees hurt a little bit, but nothing I haven't felt before. I've run 5 miles, I don't know how many times in my life. Still holding like really, really good pace. We're gonna crank quick like 3 1/4 here. And then that leaves us with just under 2 miles. I will make a pit stop. Reason being is on game day, I'm still gonna have 6 miles after I'm done this 20. So I wanna practice my fueling plan. I must have been sick last week. Had 0 issues with bathroom breaks. I did stop once to pee, but no poo, which is great. I am gonna re-Vaseline up, get a little dry. So I stand corrected. Had to go pay the poo tax. Now I've become very efficient, very clean, but efficient. About 1:15 to do all my business. Sorry if that's too much information, but it's part of the game. I'm 100% gonna have to poop during the race, and I can account for that time by picking up my pace in the earlier rounds. But the good news is last week there were explosions. This week, straight logs. So, feeling good. Got 2 1/2 miles left. Swigged some carbs, refilled my water. Again, 2 1/2. Here we go. Wow, that was probably the greatest long distance run I've ever had. 20 miles, 2 hours, 32 minutes, 33 seconds. Distance, average pace was a 7:37. The body is absolutely primed. I think fueling is exactly where it needs to be. I think I figured a couple things out in terms of the night before, the morning of, and then throughout. If I can sustain what I just did now, there is no doubt in my mind I'll be able to break 3:30, possibly even 3:25, but I don't want to get ahead of myself because it is a lot flatter, less elevation gain here than it will be at the marathon. So that is something factoring in, and why next week I will hit some very hilly trails for the 22. So thank you for tuning in to this week's build of the marathon in October for the Baltimore Marathon. Thank you.